Alright guys, so a few nights ago I was just hanging out in my house trying not to spend money on the internet, but then I got a notification on my phone from the Nike app saying member access Air Max 270G is now available. And I'm like, G as in golf? 270s? I've never seen that before. So naturally, they suckered me in, they took my money, I was able to get my hands on a pair. So today we are talking about the Nike Air Max Golf 270s. And I gotta tell you, it's not just a pair of 270s with a different outsole. These things are pretty legit. Let's take a closer look. Alright guys, welcome back and welcome to the channel. My name is Steve. Thank you for joining us, and if you are new here, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And so if you're not familiar, I am an avid golfer. I've talked about some Nike golf cleats in the past, and so when I saw these, when these were brought to my attention, I had to try and get my hands on them. Thankfully, I was lucky enough to get them in my true size, which usually never fails with Nike golf products. But there's a little bit of a caveat with that, with this pair of shoes. But let's talk about this whole package in general. So obviously this is the Nike Air Max 270 silhouette. There are some subtle changes. It's not quite the same as most of the 270s you see. And one of the big changes, of course, is the outsole. And this is a spikeless outsole, which can be great depending on if it's done right. And in the photos, it looked a little shallow for my taste. I was really skeptical as to whether these were going to grip and perform the way that they should. But holding them in hand now, you can really see some very deep tread patterns going on here. It looks like there's going to be some substantial grip on the course with these. And one of my favorite all-time Nike golf pairs is actually a spikeless pair as well. So I'm hoping that these might be able to replace that. At least I was hoping, because there is something going on with this shoe, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to play in these or keep them. So naturally, being the 270, you've got this massive 270 air bubble here, which was a little bit of a shock to see that in a golf cleat, because there are Nike golf cleats like the Jordan 5s and some Air Maxes that do have air units, but this has to be the largest air unit that's ever been put in a golf shoe before. I mean, not just Nike. I don't know of anyone or any other brand that has an air unit this large in a golf shoe. That could be, great, or it could be a problem, because stability is huge in your golf swing, and keeping your balance is huge as well. In 270s, there can be a little bit of a sway when you're sitting on that bubble with your heel. Now, I haven't had a pair of 270s in a minute. I kind of beat the pair I had and got rid of them. This feels a lot tighter, like there's more pressure in this air bubble than a normal 270. And the other thing I've noticed about this is just how heavy this shoe is. I mean, this midsole is very dense. I don't even know if there's air units going through the front of this sneaker. There might be some air unit in here, but this is just very heavy, which is a good thing, because in golf, you're not doing anything fast. You want a solid foundation, and it looks like this midsole is up to the task. And that brings us to the upper, which is done in a very clean colorway here with this really nice white upper that's got a nice rubberized texture to it, and I believe that's because this is all basically waterproof. So this is all melded together here, these pieces. There's not really any seam here. So this looks like a pretty full waterproof sneaker all the way up to the laces here. And the texture, I mean, it feels great. This is probably going to clean up very nicely. Hopefully we'll maintain some good looks after some rounds. The one drawback to my Jordan 5 lows that I love playing in is those things they got beat looking real quick. I mean, I only played maybe 20 rounds in them, and they look like they've gone through 30, 40 rounds. But that's just kind of what happens with that natural leather. This is a nice rubberized finish, so this should hold up a lot better. It's really all synthetic materials here. You got nothing really natural going on here. So we've got little Nike swooshes kind of placed all over here. You got one here up by the toe, get one on the medial side over here, you got another larger one on the lateral side here, and then the first time I've ever seen this type of branding, you have this Golf 270 on the top of the tongue. I've never seen that branding before. Usually a lot of the hybrid sneakers are called Air Max 90G, Jordan 11 low G, but this is pretty cool. They actually put the Golf in front of the 270. There might be more to come, I'm assuming, down the line, so that's pretty dope there. And then you got the Air branding on the back of the heel counter, little Air 270 on the heel tab. I like this combination too of the white, black, and this teal. It really goes good together. You've got another Golf 270 going down here on this little fabric strip going along the side here. Now onto the laces. It's a pretty small lace setup here, but that's not really necessary. So the one drawback with this sneaker, aside from this upper being very substantial, is that this doesn't flex. Like, there's no pulling and flexing with this upper. And when I slid my foot in before I, even laced the sneaker up, I mean, my foot was compressed. These are super tight, and this is my true size, so like I don't even know if this is realistic for me to even play in. So that's something to consider. I am probably going to try to get my hands on a 12.5, maybe even a 13, because this was really tight. And I actually got a pair for my wife as well, and I'm waiting for her to come back from her league round tonight. She's gonna let me know how she liked these sneakers, but she also mentioned that these were very snug. So hopefully they break in a little bit and loosen up. But it didn't feel like there was a lot of give happening, especially with this kind of rubber-coated upper. It's just not flexing. It doesn't seem like the type of thing that's going to break in with time. But I will say, from a platform standpoint, standing in these felt really nice. I was worried, obviously, about this air bubble and what that does for stability and your balance and your golf swing. But it felt very solid. It feels like it really picks you up. I mean, you feel like you're like a good 1.5 inches, 2 inches taller in this sneaker. There's definitely a big platform feel, but a lot of golf cleats can have that feel, so that's not necessarily a bad thing with a golf application. I felt from the midsole down, this is going to give you confidence in the swing, and I'm assuming that this tread pattern should hold up pretty nicely on most environments and most types of grasses. I mean, once you get into wet grass, it can be a little dicey with a spikeless golf shoe. Some people just only prefer spikes for that reason. I've had success in wet and dry conditions with spikeless shoes, especially from Nike Golf. It's kind of only the ones I really rock with, so that is not much of a concern for me. I think from the midsole down, they got it right. My gripe is just with how tight this upper is. It's just not like the other 270s. The other pair I had was true to size as well, and those were very comfortable. This is just really pressing in, and to a point that I'm gonna have to send these back and hopefully get my hands on a different size. But resale on these right now is kind of high because they came out and they're not, you can't even find them on Nike's website anymore. They're gone. So I don't know if any other stores, if any other online retailers got these in. I don't think they did. I think this was kind of like that members only quick drop, and that was it. So for the moment, resale is high on these bad boys. I think in that $250 range, and they retailed for about $170 if I'm not mistaken. No, they were $150 actually. So $150, and yeah, people are trying to get $100 plus on eBay, because you can't even look these things up on StockX. I mean, that's just, I know golf is a niche thing, but come on, guys. So overall, I'm happy that Nike is taking these chances and implementing more models into their golf lineup. I mean, I think it just makes sense because a lot of golfers like myself and golfers younger than me are really into things that are more forward, as opposed to the old FootJoys or whatever other old guy golf things. There's all these nice cool brands that are popping up, like Eastside Golf, Malbon Golf has been around forever. There's all these little brands that are busting out really cool apparel, but they don't really go on to the technical equipment side. So it's nice that Nike, with Nike Golf, even though they don't make clubs and balls anymore, they're still making some dope equipment in the form of their sneakers, and it's just great. I mean, who doesn't want to rock Air Maxes on the golf course? Who doesn't want to rock Jordans on the golf course? I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, that's fine, but for people like me, that's all I want to do. I want to keep the fits fresh no matter where I am. And on the golf course, a lot of people like to express themselves from a fashion standpoint, and sometimes that goes a little awry. Thankfully, these are definitely on the more tasteful side. So let me know what you think about these sneakers down below. The Air Max Golf 270s with this pretty dope colorway. And that does it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe, joining the family on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Hit me up on Instagram at SteveSawThis. I post a lot of previews of what's coming up. You know, whenever these things come to my doorstep in the mail, I'm posting on Instagram, giving my initial thoughts and impressions, and giving you guys a little bit of a sneak preview of what's coming up on the channel. So hit me up there, hit the subscribe here, drop a comment down here, let me know what you think about these sneakers, and I hope you have a good day, good evening, good night, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.